a place for all things Irish. San Francisco Irish Societies at the turn of the 20th century and their dream of building an Irish Hall. Presented by the Patrick J. Dowling Library, located at the United Irish Cultural Center of San Francisco. In 1896, 1/3 of the population of San Francisco was made up of Irish and Irish Americans. Although they were more welcome in the booming new city than back east, life could be difficult for the working-class Irish who lived south of the Slot, as south of Market Street was known to its residents. They formed many societies, benevolent associations, secret protective societies, and social clubs, who welcomed newcomers and provided monetary support during hard times. Although most of the members were from the working class, the groups drew members from all strata of Irish society in San Francisco, and the lives of the working-class Irish centered around various societies in the Catholic parishes, all of which held weekly picnics, balls, and whist parties. The societies met at a variety of places throughout the city. Two very popular places were the Hibernian Hall at 454 Valencia and the KRB Hall at 1133 Mission. The minutes of the Rebel Cork Ladies Association, RCLA, reflect that in 1914 the Hibernian Hall was their permanent meeting place. There were 4 KRB halls, the second one destroyed in the 1906 earthquake and fire, then a temporary one from 1906 to 1909, and finally the building at 1133 Mission Street, where many Irish and Irish Americans met their future spouses. The 4th KRB Hall was destroyed by fire in 2007. None of these locations were sufficient enough to accommodate the growing Irish population. A new place was needed, and that inspired the Irish societies to build such a hall. In 1896, a number of San Francisco Irish societies banded together and formed the Celtic Union. For many years, the Celtic Union was the leader of Irish societies in San Francisco. The Union organized or participated in a myriad of events, including Wolf Tone celebrations, the Pan-Pacific Irish Day, and Robert Emmet remembrances. They were the organizers of the St. Patrick's Day Parade and of the Irish participation in the State Jubilee celebration. By 1910, their heyday as a leader of the Irish community was over, although their fundraising efforts continued on for more than 20 years. The Celtic Union set a fundraising goal of $250,000 for the purchase of land and construction of a hall. They raised money by selling stock and by holding picnics in Glen Park and whist parties throughout the city. Proceeds from events put on by individual societies, like the Knights of Tara picnic in 1897 and one of the St. Patrick's conventions, were donated to the fund. In August of 1898, the Irish Fair, a major fundraising event for the Celtic Union, was held at the Mechanics' Pavilion. It was modeled after a similar fair that was held in New York in 1897. The Patrick J. Dowling Library at the UICC has an original copy of the fair's program, and according to WorldCat, the world's largest bibliographic database, it is one of only 3 libraries holding a copy. Modeled after the fair in New York, held the year before, the Celtic Union imported sod from each of Ireland's 32 counties. The sod was laid down at the Mechanics' Pavilion in the shape of a map of Ireland. Homesick Irish men and women could stand on the old sod once again, and for a modest amount they could take a jar of it home. A celebration of Irish culture, the names of the booths in the Mechanics' Pavilion included Lemonade Booth Cong Abbey and the Lakes of Killarney booth, reflecting the patriotic fervor of the organizers. The organizers and sponsors of the fair were a who's who of the Irish community, including Mayor James Phelan, Sheriff Richard I. Whelan, who shaped the jury selection process in the court, Jeremiah Deasy, president of the Celtic Union, and a number of prominent women in the community contributed to the fair. Over 100 years later, some of the businesses who advertised in the Irish Fair program are still in existence, but under new names, such as St. Mary's Medical Center, McAvoy O'Hara and Evergreen Mortuary, Santa Clara University, PG&E, University of San Francisco, Carew and English, Gundlach Brunschuh Winery, which keeps its same name, and Shreve and Company, also by the same name. Of the approximately 234 businesses advertised in the Irish Fair program, 6%, 14, were restaurants, 7%, 16, were undertakers or stone monument makers, 9%, 21, were alcohol-related, bottling, brewery, merchant, bar, 12%, or 27, were horse-related, horseshoers, stables, and carriage makers. There were also 2 typewriter dealers, 2 corset makers, 1 needlework instructor, 1 gunpowder manufacturer, 1 dentist, 1 optician, and 1 eyeglass maker. Many of the people in the societies that made up the Celtic Union were supporters of the various movements for Irish independence over the years. The San Francisco societies showed their support by sending donations of money and guns back to Ireland before and after the 1916 Rising. In 1902 and 1903, Tom Desmond, one of the participants in the famous Catalpa incident, the rescue of 6 Fenians from West Australia, and Commandant of the Knights of the Red Branch, a local branch of Clan na Gael, was selling stock for the Celtic Union. The 1897 Irish Fair in New York City notes that the New York Fair was organized by Clan na Gael and an Irish volunteer regiment. In a January 1901 article, the leader claimed that the Celtic Union was reported to have $10,000 in their coffers earmarked for the construction of the Irish Hall. In 1908, they purchased a site at 14th and Landers Streets. The Celtic Union continued to hold annual meetings and sell stock well into the 1930s, but never reached their fundraising goal. According to San Francisco County records, by 1940 the building had been sold. Currently, there are flats at this site. Erect an Irish Hall. Many years ago, so long ago that it is now ranked as ancient history, a movement was started to erect an Irish Hall here. We want an Irish Hall in San Francisco, and we want it as soon as we can get it. Editorial of the Leader newspaper, January 22, 1910. The idea of a center for all things Irish in San Francisco hibernated for another 30-plus years until a new group of Irish men and women banded together in the early 1970s and built, with their own hard-earned money and their labor, the United Irish Cultural Center of San Francisco, celebrating 45 years on 45th Avenue in 2020. Thank you for watching our presentation of A Place for All Things Irish by the Patrick J. Dowling Library at the United Irish Cultural Center of San Francisco. We hope you enjoyed our presentation. Please like our video and subscribe to our channel to receive notices of future programming. Should you feel so inspired, opportunities to support both the center and the library are located on our website, www.irishcentersf.org. Gora Mahagif.